Welcome to the line change. Before we get started in this game recap video, everyone's been going crazy over the fact that Brock Besser had his A removed in the game on Sunday. The media has made a big deal out of this for no reason whatsoever. And I just want to say at the top of this video, Rick Tocchet can't take my A away. I'll tell you that for free. I wanted to get that in. Let's dive right into this game recap, and it starts off pretty damn quickly for the Montreal Canadiens as Suzuki scores his 20th of the season at 1 minute and 6 seconds. So a minute into the game, Nick Suzuki scores, assisted by Caulfield and Slafkovsky. Montreal scores on their first shot of the game. So not a good look for the Canucks to start this one off. Not a good look for Kevin Lankinen. Although it was a beautiful goal by Suzuki. So I can't be too hard on Lankinen there. Both Pettersson and Besser were on the ice for the first goal against. So I wanted to make note of that, considering how low their ice time was in the game against Dallas on Sunday. Dakota Joshua missed by inches of putting the puck in the net. We're going to talk a little bit more about Joshua later on in this video, especially for those that watch the game, and you probably know what I'm getting at. There's some more bad puck luck for the Canucks. They just couldn't jam it home. The Canucks hit a couple more posts, and then Slafkovsky scores his 12th of the season at 8 minutes and 34 seconds. It was unassisted. So Montreal is up 2-0 now against the Canucks. And then for the second goal, we mentioned how Besser and Pettersson were on the ice for the first goal. DeBrusk was on the ice for the second goal. I made a note of this because of the low ice time and just wanted to point that out. The Montreal Canadiens were very aggressive and dominating in the offense zone here in the early stages of this first period. They came out flying, especially on that Suzuki goal. That Slafkovsky goal, I'm sure Lankinen's going to want back, as it was a bit of a soft one. Not many that we see from Lankinen. Moving on, the Montreal Canadiens were giving the puck away quite a bit. There was multiple times they were giving the puck away, turning it over, and the Canucks weren't able to capitalize on it. So there's a missed chance there for the Canucks. Speaking of, we talked about Joshua earlier. Joshua with another chance, but he was absolutely robbed by Montembeault. They did look at it during the commercial break, and then seeing it on the replay, you can go 50 on this. Personally, I thought it was a goal. As seeing it on the replay, it looked like the puck not completely crossed the line, but a good majority of the puck crossed the line. And this is just my take. I feel as though that should be a goal. I understand if it's, a little bit of the puck crossing the line shouldn't count. But if it's a good piece of the puck, like half of it crosses the line, it should count. Let me know in the comment section down below if you agree or disagree on that. And I'm also not sure if that's an actual rule in the NHL or not, that the puck has to completely cross the line. Let me know in the comments about that, as I couldn't exactly remember if that was the case. But yeah, as I mentioned, seeing the replay over and over again, it looked like it crossed the line. And then also, if you're looking at the replay, you can see where Montembeault's pad is. It's completely over the line. So it makes you wonder, should that have been a goal? But tough break for Dakota Joshua, as he's been playing really well lately. And in this game in particular, he played extremely well. He had some great chances, but he wasn't able to bury it. So you have to feel for him there. Garland with a great chance. The Canucks were showing some life in the final 3 minutes of this first period. I also want to mention that Brock Besser had no shots in the first period. He didn't get a single shot on goal. Shots at the end of the period were 11-7 in favor of the Canucks. So again, that's not a good look for Lankinen and the Canucks. 2 goals on 7 shots is just not good. Moving on to the second period, Höglander was robbed by Montembeau. Couldn't beat him. Great chance for Höglander. There was a penalty called on the Canucks well behind the play here in the second period. Now, we're really going to talk about this a little bit because I feel as though it was an unreasonable penalty. It never should have been called. As I mentioned, it was well behind the play. Even the broadcasters were like, what? It didn't need to be called. And then having looked at the replay of it over and over again and analyzing it, the Montreal player was going to the bench. So, I mentioned I took a closer look at it. The Canadiens player looked like he went to swat at Marcus Pettersson. And Marcus Pettersson simply blocked it with his stick. And the Montreal player let go of his stick and then it went flying. And then Pettersson got called for slashing. That's not fucking slashing. Like, how is that slashing? Like, the referee who made the call, get your eyes checked. Like, that should not have been a penalty. And it was uncalled for. Like, it shouldn't have been called. And the broadcasters even said if they had not called that, they wouldn't have even noticed it. So it was a stupid penalty, never should have been called. It was a BS call. And granted, the Canadiens didn't score on the ensuing power play, so I guess it's fine. It's whatever. But still, I thought it was a dumb call. You even saw Pettersson, as he went to the penalty box, he even said to the referees, good job. So moving on from that, the Canadiens ended up getting a penalty during that power play. They negated their own power play. We ended up going 4-4. Canadiens were not able to convert on that power play, as I mentioned. And then the Canucks weren't able to convert on that mini power play that they had. And then remember how we talked about that penalty and how unreasonable it was? Well, not long later, Brock Besser had his stick knocked out of his hands. But it was during, it wasn't behind the play. It was during the play. It was near the front of the net, and there was no call. There was no slashing call. So again, that penalty on Marcus Pettersson was BS, and the referees had a chance to rectify that, and they didn't call it. Where was the slashing call? So I thought, at least when it comes to that particular play, the refs were brutal there and really messed up big time. Moving forward, Cole Caulfield scores his 32nd of the season at 8 minutes and 58 seconds, assisted by Suzuki and Slavkovsky. The Canucks were caught on a bad line change on that goal, so that was a bad change on the Canucks' part, and it led to the third Montreal goal. And then the Canucks go on the power play. And on this power play, they needed a sense of urgency on the power play. They even mentioned it on the broadcast that Canucks need it. They were unable to get entry into the zone on this power play. They were really struggling. They managed to get a shot on goal on the power play at the tail end of it. And I'm not sure exactly if it was scored a shot on the power play. It may have actually been just after the penalty ended. I couldn't find anything that said otherwise, so I'm just going to say may or may not have been a shot on goal on the power play. In this game, Montreal's top line was absolutely dominating the Canucks. Montreal's top line was in on all three of the goals thus far. Joshua, talked about him. Another great chance. In this game alone, he had 3 grade A chances, but he was unable to convert on them. Again, a little bit of bad puck luck. Certainly a tough night for Joshua, considering how great he has played. And he's going to have to carry some of that into this next game, and hopefully he can manage to put one in the net. Both EP40 and O'Connor had a great chance back-to-back. Still can't, and they still couldn't beat Montembeau. Montembeau was standing on his head. He was getting peppered with shots, and he was absolutely stonewalling the Canucks in this game. So my hat's off to Montembeau. He played absolutely great, considering earlier on in the season, he was not playing well at all. So he's really managed to turn it around here in the second half. Lankinen, 3 goals on 12 shots. Not a really good look for him. They showed on the broadcast, Carey Price was in attendance at this Canucks game, former Montreal Canadiens goaltender whose career was shortened due to injuries, which was unfortunate, as Carey Price was one of the best goaltenders in the league, and his career was cut short. So it was great to see Carey Price in attendance. I'm not sure if he works for the Canadiens front office or something. Maybe he does. Maybe that's why he was there. But I thought it was interesting that he was there. The Canucks were struggling to get the puck from the sidewall, which really hurt their offensive chances. Second period ends, and the shots in the second period were 12-9 in favor of the Canucks. After 2 periods, the shots were 23-16. Third period starts. I felt as though the Canucks really needed to start taking advantage of these turnovers as Montreal continued to turn the puck over. And lo and behold, as soon as I wrote that in my notes, Hronek scored his 4th of the season at 4 minutes and 3 seconds, assisted by Marcus Pettersson. There was another missed penalty against Montreal. EP40 was tripped, no call. So again, like I mentioned earlier, refs, go get some glasses or get like a prescription or something. I mean, I know I'm blind as shit without my glasses on, but even I saw that. And then Suter took what looked like was a puck to the knee from a shot from, I believe it was Hronek. There was a penalty called on the play. I will give the referees the benefit of the doubt with this one, as they seem to think that he got slashed in the knee, but it was actually a puck to the knee. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt for this one. They got that one wrong, obviously, but perhaps it was a makeup call from earlier on. It could have been to make up for the missed trip just before this, or it could have been a makeup call from the BS Marcus Pettersson penalty. We don't know. It could have been that. Speaking of, we mentioned how Carey Price was in attendance for this game. He wasn't the only one who was in attendance at this game. And this is probably a name you haven't heard in a really long time. Matt Cook was in attendance at this game. A Canucks alumni, Canucks scrapper back in the day. I absolutely loved Matt Cook. He was incredible. He wasn't the best goal scorer for the Canucks, but he had some grit to him. He had some fight to him. Actually, believe it or not, Connor Garland reminds me a lot of Matt Cook. He was scrappy, short guy, and he just buzzed around the ice. I absolutely loved it when we had Matt Cook. I know a lot of people around the league did not like him at all, but he was kind of like our smaller version of Brad Marchand, I guess, in a way. And I really liked Cook. So I thought he was great. And it was great to see him. And I will say, boy, did he ever get old. Moving forward, EP40 scores his 13th of the season at 11 minutes and 8 seconds on the power play. Thank you, referees, for that penalty, making that call. Canucks managed to convert on the power play. So thank you. Assisted by Hronek and Garland, the Canucks are now 1 for 3 on the power play. You heard deafening "Let's Go Petey" chants in Rogers Arena, which, like we heard when he scored on Friday, it's great to hear. It probably really boosts Pettersson's spirits. Myers ended up blocking a shot and appeared to be in distress. It looked like it hit him in the arm. So I'm going to keep tabs on whether or not Myers might play tomorrow. I know he took a puck to the neck a little while ago and played the next game. So hopefully he's okay. Jake DeBrusk had a chance, wasn't able to bury it. The Canucks ended up calling a timeout with 1 minute and 22 seconds left in the game, attempting to tie it up. After that EP40 goal, they were only down by 1, and everyone knows the Canucks have yet to win a game when trailing after 2 periods. They were looking to end that tonight. But the Canucks were getting outshot in the third period, which is a little alarming to see. It seemed like Montreal really came to life in the third period, and they were just kind of coasting in the first 2. Mike Matheson scores his 6th of the season at 19 minutes and 43 seconds into an empty net. as the Canucks had pulled the goalie. It was unassisted. EP40 attempted to deflect and essentially play goalie, but, it was too little too late. And it may have also deflected off his stick and into the net. And then that's your game. Final score of 4-2 for the Montreal Canadiens. So shots in the period were 11-8 in favor of Montreal. Final shots of the game were 31-27 in favor of Vancouver. So the Canucks drop another one. And this is a big one, as the Canucks were looking for another 2 points. They are, as of right now, below the playoff bar. They're behind Calgary. And they really needed this win tonight to gain some momentum for tomorrow, because tomorrow night they play Calgary in Calgary, and it's now made tomorrow's game very important. A lot of eyes are going to be on the game tomorrow, and it could very well make or break their playoff hopes. So with the loss tonight, and we're just going to go right into our post-game notes, the game tomorrow is essentially a must-win for the Canucks. If they want to stay in the race, they won't be completely out of it if they lose, but they can't afford to think that. They need to win tomorrow. The Canucks' comeback was snuffed out by Montreal. This was the last time they played Montreal this season. They were not able to beat Montreal in their 2-game series. They ended up going 0-2 against Montreal. They ended up losing to Montreal earlier in the season in overtime. We talked about the referees earlier. I thought they were pretty brutal for the most part. I know I mentioned I gave them the benefit of the doubt on that call when Suter took that puck to the knee. I gave them credit for that one, that they messed up on that one. But hey, we ended up getting a goal out of it, so I'll take it. EP40 ended up getting 4 shots on goal tonight, and he converted on one of them. He also had a ice time of 19 minutes and 48 seconds, so his ice time went up compared to last game. I also have the ice times for DeBrusk, Besser, and Lekaramaki. DeBrusk had a ice time of 16 minutes and 53 seconds, so still a little down. Besser had a ice time of 18 minutes and 44 seconds, so he was right up there. EP40 had the most ice time in the forward group tonight. Lekaramaki had an ice time of 9 minutes and 33 seconds, so he played just under 10 minutes in this game, which you don't really like to see for a young rookie, but he was on the second line in this game, and we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Lekaramaki is still developing, and he's going to be a big-time difference maker for this team down the line. So you can't really fault Rick Tocchet for that, and Rick Tocchet even mentioned, you can't blame Lekaramaki for the Canucks' poor play as of late, because he's still learning. We're going to dive right into our player of the game. I'll admit, this was a little tricky. When I was trying to think of who could be the player of the game, after the second period, I was originally going to go with nobody, because at that point the Canucks hadn't scored. But I ended up selecting Phil Hronek as tonight's player of the game. He ends the night with 1 goal, 1 assist, 3 shots on goal, 1 hit, and 3 blocks. So congratulations, Philip Hronek. You are the Line Changes player of the game, and you are also the first to be the player of the game, not once, but twice. So bravo, sir. He probably doesn't give a shit about, being a player of the game on some random guy's podcast. But anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you agree with me on that disallowed goal earlier on in the game? Also, if you have any input on the actual official rule on that, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of the referees in this game, because personally, I thought they were pretty brutal tonight. And no, that's not just me as a Canucks fan complaining. I legitimately thought they were brutal tonight. That Marcus Pettersson goal just blows my mind. It baffles me, especially having analyzed it and looked at it on the replay multiple times. But yeah, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you're not subscribed to The Line Change and would like to be kept up to date on our content, our videos, our shorts, whenever we go live. On that note, I am going to try and do a live game recap for tomorrow's game with the importance of that game. I'm going to try and get it all set up tonight, so there's no issues this time. I'm going to be trying to use different software this time that allows it to directly go to YouTube. So wanted to let you guys know that. I'll keep you guys posted on if I can't do it. I'm still learning these like software stuff. I'm still adjusting and trying to get the hang of it. But if you're not subscribed to The Line Change, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. You really help out the channel. And if you hit that little bell that's on the or that's right next to it, you will be notified every time we post a new video. So go ahead and hit that. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.